All right, guys, the train continues rolling here with the second of two MMAOB Daily Podcasts here for your viewing pleasure. Sunday, June 19th. Your host is always Adam Martin, joined by here Big Marcel, my co-host as always. We just finished the UFC Austin recap, and now we're going to be previewing UFC Vegas 57. Just got some comments here. Steve's here. It is a good card, Steve. I mean, I don't think it's going to be as good as the Austin card, but I mean, not many are going to be. Joe likes the podcast. Great, Joe. I'm glad you like it too, man. It works right now for us anyways. We'll try it out and see how it goes. Marcel forgot to set his alarm. No, Marcel was up before us. I mean, Marcel's been up for a while. Marcel, I appreciate you having some flexibility here, my friend. I appreciate it. I think it's going to work out well. You know, we'll try it out for a while, see how it goes, Marcel. At least, like I said, for the summer, that's what I can tell you guys we'll be doing. So, yeah, Marcel, what's your thoughts on this card as I pull up the odds and everything? UFC Vegas 57, your overall thoughts?
I kind of love the card, dude. I definitely love the main card. I think finally we have, besides one fight, it's all makes sense on the main card, you know. So, yeah, I like the card. I'm looking forward to it. And definitely the main and co-main event especially are crazy, I think. So, yeah.
Right. No, I agree completely. 1 second here. Just trying to figure out what happened. Got to get the what the heck? 1 sec, guys. I don't know what happened to this preview podcast. Oh, here it is. I got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, Marcel, I'm looking forward to talk about this card with you as well. We got a lot of fights here, guys. We're gonna be here for the next hour, breaking out all these fights with you, Marcel, and I am looking forward to talking about these cards with you. Hey, Andrew, how's it going, man? I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, dude. It is a Father's Day for me, my first one. I'm lucky I still have my dad. He's still alive, Marcel. Remember, Marcel, like, they're not here forever, you know, Marcel, unfortunately.
For sure.
So, I know you probably gave your dad a hug already today, but Marcel, like, they're not here forever, you know, and it's life is short, man. You know, I had a really crazy incident actually during my trip, Marcel. I didn't talk about this to anyone. It's kind of embarrassing, but I almost drowned, Marcel. I almost drowned. Yeah, I made a mistake and I went swimming in the ocean and I just went too deep. I wear glasses too, right? So I can't really see how far the shore was. I was enjoying myself. I was having a great time. My fiance and the kid were on the beach. There was no one else swimming in the water, and I'm just enjoying the water. All of a sudden, started getting sucked back, Marcel, and I couldn't swim back. I started to panic a little bit, and I'm just lucky I was able to think smart and get on my back and start kicking in. But I'm not going to lie, guys, this was really scary, and it just made me realize, again, how short life is, because we're not promised tomorrow, you know? So I'm really starting to see that again, Marcel. We got to take every day for what it is. Don't take it for granted, guys. Enjoy every day because, again, we are not promised tomorrow, man. And it was extremely scary, Marcel. I'm not going to lie. I was really scared. I'm still a little freaked out about it, guys. I'm not going to lie because it's a really shitty way to go that way. And I feel so bad that he passed away like that, Marcel, because you're alone, you're scared, and the water just sucks you in, dude. I'm a good swimmer. I couldn't get back, Marcel. The waves kept pulling me in. It was really scary. Oh, anyways, I'm here, guys. I'm glad I made it back to you, but it could have been the end of Adam Martin. It could have been the end of the podcast. So I'm glad it's not the end because Marcel would have had to do it by himself, and it wouldn't have been as good if he just did it by himself. I'm just joking, Marcel.
It's true, actually. It's true. So,
all right. True. Anyways, love you guys, and I'm glad you guys are here with me doing the podcast with you. All right, so we are going to go through this card, Marcel. Looking forward to talking about it. We're going to start with the first fight here, guys. I'm just pulling up I'm going to get the timestamps. I always do them during the card. A lot easier for me than going back afterwards. So pull them up here, Marcel. Let's start with the first fight, Marcel, here. And again, guys, I'm using UFCstats.com. That's the way the bout order. And you think it's going to change, Marcel, or you think it's pretty?
I think it stays this way. It stays this way. Also, the UFC showed it on the broadcast yesterday. So
yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, Joe, I'm just looking at the comments. Joe, it was freaking scary, dude. Like, I mean, I didn't realize how far out I was at that point, and I was enjoying myself so much, and then I'm like, holy shit, I can't swim back. My body is seized up. It was so weird. I've never had this happen. My body was seizing up, and I couldn't move my upper body, so I got on my back and started kicking. That's the only reason I knew how to swim on my back. That's the only way I survived it, Marcel. I was like this close to drowning, man, and it would have been such a horrible, horrible way to go. Anyways, guys, I'm here. Let's talk about this podcast. All right, let's go through the fights here, Marcel. We'll start with the first fight here. Jinh Frey taking on Vanessa Demopoulos, Marcel, in the UFC Women's Strawweight division here. Looking forward to this fight. I mean, Vanessa, you know, listen, like she's coming off a really nice win, right? And she's become like she's she's getting a lot more confident, Marcel. I'll say that. Like, she's doing a lot more interviews. Obviously, the Joe Rogan thing with the splits, jumping in his arms, pretty funny. But I don't know about this matchup for her. It might not be a good one because right now, look at the odds, Marcel. Jinh Frey minus 265, plus 225 of Vanessa Demopoulos. So let's start with this fight, Marcel. Your thoughts on the first fight of UFC Vegas 57?
Yeah. Before I start, did you saw the tweet that Julia Marquez just put out on Twitter? Or some random dude who talking shit to him on DM for
What did he say?
Wake up, sleepyhead, you bum. You had just got pieced up to the Shadow Realm. You're dead.
Yeah, people are fucked, dude. Don't.
Yeah,
that's why I close my DMs. I don't want, because people will message you that shit. I don't want my DMs.
Same. I just only open for people who I follow.
Same here. I don't understand why people do open them because like you're letting yourself basically get harassed for no reason. Mm-hmm. But anyways, go ahead, Marcel. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. So is this the first time that Jinh Frey is like the bigger, the higher fighter or the taller fighter? I think she's
been the taller fighter.
Yeah.
Longer fighter, yeah, because she has, looking in this fight, Marcel, like she's 1 inch taller, but she has a 6 inch reach advantage, Marcel, right? Yeah. So that's significant. Yeah, go ahead.
She's like already 37, but I mean, I think she's a decent fighter, but I think I would think the atomweight division would be better for her, likely. If you look at Vanessa Demopoulos, she got dropped in her last fight against Silvana Gomez-Juarez, and then she got an armbar, which was really good. Before that, I know former LFA, but this is kind of a difficult fight to pick for me. I think many people will maybe go for Demopoulos, although she's an underdog in this fight. I feel like Frey can get the decision here, man. I think she makes it. She can make it ugly, and makes it a lot of wrestling getting. I think Jinh Frey wins decision, man.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards your way, but there's no fucking way in hell I would lay minus 265 with Jinh Frey. Are you kidding me? What a horrible line. The line is bad. I'm not saying it's wrong because I think she should win the fight. Vanessa's very one-dimensional, Marcel. Like, she's got great submissions. But, Jinh Frey did get talked up by Kay Hansen, who, is not in the UFC anymore. She's doing softcore pornography, it looks like, from those teams we've seen. I mean, you guys all saw the pictures on Twitter, I'm sure. She has her OnlyFans here. I don't know. Apparently, there's a video of her. I mean, that's what people were saying. I have no idea, though. I'm not paying for that. I'm just saying, Marcel, like, she could get submitted here because Vanessa's very dangerous with the armbar. We know that, right? But Jinh Frey overall, I think, is the better fighter, Marcel. I think, like you said, wins a decision here. That's what I'm thinking. So that's my pick in this one. It's not bad. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that, dude. And then for all the other fathers, I don't know if there's anyone else who's a dad, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And again, like I said, Marcel, I'm going to enjoy it even more this year because it might not happen, dude. I was that close to it. Marcel, I saw the Grim Reaper, dude. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I didn't tell you about this because I was embarrassed because it's my fault, but I saw the Grim Reaper, dude, and it's scary. It's fucking scary. So Jinh Frey hasn't finished the fight since 2014. Yeah, I know it's been a while. That's why I think she wins the decision here. So that's my thoughts on this one, guys. Let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We have Brian Kelleher against Mario Bautista, Marcel, in this fight. Pretty good fight here, Marcel, in the bantamweight division. Right now, Bautista is the favorite here, guys. Mario Bautista is minus 155. Brian Kelleher, boom, plus 135. What's your thoughts, man?
This is a difficult one. Kelleher is super inconsistent, and I feel like he's always losing to the guys who are just a bit better than him, who are around the top 15, or future top 15 guys. If you look at Mario Bautista, he won his last fight against Jay Perrin, which was a short notice replacement. Before that, losing to Trevin Jones and to Corey Sandhagen. His best win probably is against Miles Johns, right, at Flying Knee. It's a difficult one, I think if Kelleher shows up, he can win the fight. But on the other side, Bautista can win as well with his power, I think. So I'm really 50-50 on this one, how it can go. I kind of lean towards Bautista, but I'm not sure. I'm going with Bautista, and I have to go with a finish then, so I'm going with TKO in the second round.
I mean, Brian's pretty tough, man,
He is, but got to make a choice, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm leaning towards Bautista too. I think he wins the decision, though. I think he's just going to be the most effective striker in the feet. I think it'll be competitive, Marcel. Like most bantamweight fights are very competitive, as we know. But I just think he's the better fighter right now. Brian is solid. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think he's beatable, especially on the feet. I think he can be kind of just like out jabbed here, outlanded by Bautista, who is a good fighter, Marcel. And he actually has 3 inches of height and reach here as well. So he's the bigger, taller, longer fighter. He is the younger fighter, 7 years younger. I think he has a lot of advantages in this fight, Marcel. I think he's a pretty good fighter. Not many people talk about him as like he's not a contender by any means, but he's a pretty solid fighter, and I think he gets the job done here, Marcel. So that's my pick. Let me get some comments here, guys. Also, Dury, I agree. I mean, the Demopoulos win over Torres does look good, but again, she did get dropped before that armbar, so don't think he gets knocked on this fight though. Mario's training with the GOAT Sean O'Malley. Yeah, he does train with that camp. Was it the MMA Lab? Is that Marcel? The MMA Lab?
Yes, MMA Lab, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Kelleher figures out win the fight. I expect the lines to flip by fight night. It's a close fight. I think the line is fine, but it could get a little tighter. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. It looks like some of you guys like Kelleher. Experience advantage. He does have experience advantage. It's competitive, Marcel. There's no doubt about it. But I am leaning towards Bautista, so I have the same lean as Big Marcel here. All right, let's get to the next fight here, guys. We got Cody Durden against JP Bays, Marcel. I think Bays was supposed to fight on that Austin card, and then they eventually moved him off because it was supposed to be him and Delizi fighting back-to-back, which that's just mean if they did that. But yeah, they're fighting here. Marcel, it's a pick 'em. -110 each. It's the closest fight in the card. What's your thoughts?
Which makes sense because I really have a difficulty in picking this fight. Cody Durden, he comes off that loss against Muhammad Makayev, right? He's 1-2-1 in the UFC with his only win against Aruchi Lang. But it was a fight that was really close and could have gone the other way as well. And JP Buys, 2 losses in the UFC so far. Got that win on the Contender Series in the second try. You know, he lost the first time against Joby Sanchez. Then he won against Jacob Silva in the second try. Yeah, I mean, you got to be honest, man. The matchmaking for JP Buys has been pretty difficult for him. You know, he went to 135 last time to fight Montel Jackson. Got kind of destroyed on the feet, you know, and he still got it to a decision. Before that, the fight against Bruno Silva, which wasn't great. It's a difficult fight for me to pick here. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think it will go to a decision. And I think maybe Buys can get it. But I'm not sure. It's really 50-50 to me. But I'm going with JP here for a decision.
Yeah, I mean, like again, the line is -110. This is not a fight I'm confident in. I'm leaning towards Durden just a little bit, Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
He does train in American Top Team, which I really like. I know he's coming off that brutal loss, obviously, to Makayev, right? But, you know, that fight with Gutierrez, for instance, was very competitive. It doesn't look that bad in hindsight. I mean, I know JP Bays also had some success against Montel Jackson early, had the mount position and everything. But 4 knockdowns. Marcel, he's been knocked down 7 times in his last 2 fights. Mm-hmm. 7 times. Durden's got a little bit of power. I don't know if he knocks him out, but I think he can hurt him a little bit here. I just can't pick JP Bays, Marcel. I can't do it. I saw a fight. I'm like running to the window right now. I'm like take my money and put money on this fight because it's competitive. But I'm leaning towards Durden. That's my pick here. Bays' ability to take a punch in his career, dude. 7 knockdowns in the last 2 fights. That's insane. Bays by knee in the clinch. I mean, I'd be surprised if that happened, but we've seen crazier stuff. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Durden a little bit here, Marcel. It's competitive though, right? It's definitely competitive
for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. I think this is one of the better fights in the card, personally. Raulian Paiva against Sergey Morozov, Marcel. I think this fight should be higher in the card, personally. I think it could have been on the main card over Alan Baudot and Josh Breezy, but they always like putting the shitty heavyweight fights on the main card for some reason. The odds for this one, Marcel, Morozov is the favorite, -140, Paiva +120. What do you think?
I think it's kind of a weird. I don't agree with the odds, to be really honest. I think Morozov is a good fighter. You know, we saw him fight against Douglas Silva de Andrade. He completely destroyed him in the first round, but Silva de Andrade completely destroyed him in the second round, and he got finished. You know, so if you look at Paiva had some bad luck as well in his career so far. You know, I think if you don't know the backstory, look it up. You know. He came to UFC. He fought Kai Kara France. Remember, I think he won that fight. He lost split decision. It was in Australia, so or New Zealand. I don't know, New Zealand or Australia. That fight was like kind of home cooking decision, in my opinion. Then he got stopped by Rogério Bontorin due to a cut on his face. Then got to a 3-fight win streak with questionable wins against Nurmagomedov and Phillips. He could have also lost those 2 fights, you know. And then his last fight, he lost to Sean O'Malley. Overall, very 50-50 fight to me. I think Morozov can be very good in the beginning, but I don't know, man. You know, it scared me what I saw of him in the second round against Douglas Silva de Andrade. And I think Paiva, yeah, he lost to Sean O'Malley, but still, I think he's a very decent fighter. I go with Paiva decision here, man.
I'm with you. I like it too, man, Marcel. I think there's value on him as an underdog here. I don't really understand the line. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't get it. Like, I know he got knocked out by Sean O'Malley, but it's not like that's a bad loss by any means. The guy's been really competitive in his fights. He beat Kyler Phillips. Competitive fight. I mean, could have gone either way, but he won that fight. I mean, the Kai Kara France fight was super competitive. He could have won that one. The guy's good, Marcel. I think he's just underrated too. I mean, and I like him at this weight class better, obviously. He's not cutting all that weight to kill himself to make 125. Morozov Marcel is 1-2 in the UFC. He's been finished brutally in his 2 fights. Like the last fight against Andrade Marcel, he won the first round. He dropped him, but then that second round took an absolute beating. He's only winning against Khalid Taw, who I don't believe is in the UFC anymore, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't understand the odds on this one, Marcel. What am I missing here? What am I missing here, guys? I don't really see why he's the underdog. This line, it opened at -110 each, so it opened as a pick'em, and the early actions on Morozov. I think this is going to swing back down a little bit during fight week because I think people will take the plus money on Paiva. That's the side here. I like Paiva as an underdog. It's our first underdog pick of the week, Marcel. It's a consensus dog here too, guys. So we both like Raulian and Paiva. You said decision, Marcel? That's your pick? Decision?
Yeah, decision.
I think so too, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he finished this guy because he's been finished in both his losses in the UFC. So it could be a win by stoppage. And I agree completely. There's no shame in losing to O'Malley. And I just think it's a bit of an overreaction that all of a sudden this guy is an underdog here. All right. Well, the next fight here, Marcel, we have TJ Brown taking on Shayilan Nuerdanbieke in the UFC featherweight division. The odds for this fight, -210, Brown, Nurmagomedov, +175. Just wanted to mention before we get into the breakdown for this fight, they've found like 20 extra fights for Shayilan. I don't you talk about Askar Mozarov with a fake record. I'm not saying this guy's record's fake, but it's really crazy, Marcel. They found 20 extra fights for this guy. Like, where do these fights come from? I don't understand it at all. And Glenn's talking about Shayilan's record changing, and now his wins. 13 wins against people who never won an MMA fight, and 31 of his opponents had 5 or less wins, according to Tabology. Talking about padded. I mean, I know he beat Sean Soriano, but this guy seems like another fraud, Marcel. To be honest with you, give me your thoughts, man.
Still, I don't fuck with the line, to be really honest, man. I think Shayilan didn't do bad at all against Sean Soriano, and he did very well. If you look at TJ Brown in the UFC so far, he got a good win against Charles Rosa, but that Kai Kamaka split decision was complete bullshit, in my opinion. He could have been 0-3 in his first 3 UFC fights. And he's now 2-2, which is good for him. If you look at Shayilan, he had a competitive fight with Kulibao. He lost that fight, and he won against Soriano. It's difficult. I haven't listened, man, no disrespect to TJ Brown. I think he's a good guy, but I haven't been really high on him so far, even when not in the contender series. Shayilan looks decent. Also not a guy I think will do crazy things in the UFC, but I still favor him in this fight, taking him with the unanimous decision here.
Fair enough. Yeah. So you're taking Shayilan?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, hey, there's an underdog pick. I kind of agree the odds are a little wide. I mean, TJ Brown is okay. He's not great, but for me, like I'm gonna lean towards him a little bit, Marcel. I think he's a little more proven. I trust him a little bit more here, but I think it's a competitive fight because it should be grappling based, right? And if this guy can't get the takedown, TJ Brown, he could be in trouble a little bit here because Shayilan is, again, all these fights, he's like the Askar Morozov of this card, Marcel. No, I'm kidding. But honestly, Marcel, I think you're right. I mean, like the Kulibao fight was competitive, kind of, and that's not a bad loss. Hindsight, Kulibao just had the win. And Soriano's not a great win by any means, but it's not bad. I just think this is a stay away fight completely. I would stay away from this one, guys. Personally, I have no interest in betting on this fight. Leaning TJ Brown, but I think Marcel, could be right about this one as well. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Did Mazra retire? Did he retire, Marcel?
He said he is, but he's probably coming back with a different name, so I don't know.
Yep, the guy is just complete fraud. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Carlos Ulberg taking on Tafon Nchukwi here, Marcel, light heavyweight. Ulberg right now slightly favored, -125, Nchukwi +105. Your pick.
Yeah, I have to do extended research for this fight for Eurosport upcoming week, and I'm really not looking forward to it, to be really honest. Nchukwi, last fight against Murzakanov, he looked good until he got stopped with the flying knee. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he would have probably won the fight. Nchukwi is a guy who looks really scary, but really doesn't do anything to me. I feel like he's decent, but he looks much more scarier than he actually is, I think. If you look at Ulberg, he had a fun start of his UFC career, against Kennedy and Nchukwi, but then he completely gassed out and Kennedy finished him. And then the second fight against Fabio Cherant was a complete dog shit fight, to be really honest. Cherant couldn't let anything go, and Ulberg was like fighting like he was Adesanya. You know what I mean? Like, look what I do here, but didn't do a lot, but he did enough to win the fight. Even I remember Henry Hooft from Sanford saying to what's coach from Adesanya again?
Eugene Behrman.
Eugene Behrman, yeah, who was also in Ulberg's side. He was like, "I'm sorry, my fighter didn't show up." So that's how it pretty much
was really bad to watch.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Yeah. So overall, 50-50 on this one. But given what I saw so far from both guys, I'm taking Nchukwi via decision here.
Fair enough. Yeah, this fight's also close. I don't have a ton of interest, but I am leaning towards Ulberg by a shitty decision here. He was cruising against Kennedy, but before he kind of just gassed himself out just by going too hard against the guy, really tough chin. The last fight made it really look easy, Marcel, honestly. Like, I know the other guy didn't show up, but he made it look easy. Nchukwi's a good striker too. He's probably the better wrestler. I just don't know if he can take this guy down a lot. I think he can kind of get outpaced here, Marcel, over 3 rounds. So, again, it's not like a fight I'm running to the window to bet on, but I am leaning towards Carlos Ulberg ever so slightly for a decision. So that's my pick in this one. Daniel likes Nchukwi, his dog of the night, so he's with Team Marcel here, and then Andrew's on Team Adam Martin here with he likes Ulberg by decision. That's what I think, man. What's Ulberg by decision? Any problem on this one? I want to see what that is, just because that's kind of what I think. I think the fight going the distance, guys, is plus 140. Did you say decision, Marcel?
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Maybe that's the play here. A fight going the distance, Marcel. It's plus money. It's an underdog here. That's surprising to me. I thought that the fight, honestly, I know it's light heavyweight, but these guys, they tend to go to decision, kind of, Marcel. So that's something to take a look at, guys. I would take a look at this fight going the distance. That's what I would take a look at, because I'm surprised it's a plus money. I think that's off. I think it should be favored to go to the distance. And I agree. He almost did beat Mirzakhanov, but brutally knocked out by like Marcel said, that guy's got the cheat code, right? He pressed XO, triangle, square, and then got the Hey, Antoine, what's up, man? How's it going? Weekend was good, man. Just got back, watched the fights. Glad to be here. It's Father's Day today. We do the podcast. I'm going to spend the day with my family. It's going to be awesome, Marcel. But I appreciate it, Antoine. Really, you're a nice guy, man. So I appreciate you asking. Daniel says the fight starting round 3 seems safer. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the way to go. I what's the odds on that? Is it like, I don't know if we have odds on that yet. Let me double check though. There's nothing on that yet, Daniel. So I don't know. But even over 2.5. Even over 1.5 is minus 160. That seems low. I'm just surprised it's favored to end so quickly. I am. Because I think that this fight plays out like a long, drawn-out striking battle with points. That's what I think happens, Marcel. So let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Opening up the main card here. One of the best fights in the card for sure. Chris Curtis, the Action Man, taking on Rodolfo Vieira. And the odds for this one, Marcel, Chris Curtis minus 160, Vieira plus 140. What do you think?
Yeah, get or do you say that? Get out of the first round and win. That's what I think. I know we got a win against Stoltzfus last time out in the 3rd round. But I feel like, Vieira, he will probably look to get the submission again in the first round like he always does. And Chris Curtis has surprised me so far, in the UFC, not going to lie. I didn't expect him to knock out Phil Haas. He knocks out Phil Haas, and I didn't expect him to do it with Brendan Allen. He does it also. So now the expectations are higher with Chris Curtis. You know what I mean? And
now he's a favorite. Now he's not the underdog. Yeah,
exactly. So what are we going to do now?
That's why I have this podcast, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. I still favor Chris Curtis over 3 rounds. So if he doesn't get caught in the submission or whatever in the first round by Vieira, I actually expect him to finish the fight. So I'm going with the 2nd round TKO for Chris Curtis here.
I mean, I can't blame you. The guy's looked phenomenal, obviously, in the UFC. He's looked amazing. He has the 2 back-to-back wins, which surprised me. Both of them surprised me. Phil Haas, Phil Haas looked really good in that fight before he got knocked out.
Sure.
People forget that. And then, obviously, the Allen fight, I mean, that was, wow, it was great. You know what, though, Marcel? I'm going to go with Vieira in this fight because the grappling is just so high level. I think that, again, Chris Curtis is a guy who came up from welterweight. I know he's looked good at middleweight so far, but I still have some questions about the takedown defense. And Vieira is like one of the highest level grapplers. Listen, I know he lost to Hernandez as a big favorite. It was very surprising. Looked decent in his last against Stoltzfus. And the thing was, he got the finish on the ground, but his striking also looked better. Now, I don't expect him to stand and trade. I think that'd be a mistake because he could probably get clipped and finished. But I think if he can get this fight, gets to the cage, get it to the ground, Marcel, he can have some success here. So I'm going to go the other way here, Marcel. I'm leaning towards the underdog here, guys. I'm leaning towards Rodolfo Vieira. And, all those wins are by submission. I know Chris has only been submitted one time, but I mean, if this guy gets your back or your arm or neck, it's lights out. So I'm leaning towards Rodolfo Vieira by submission. I think we're both leaning towards the fight not going the distance, Marcel. That is minus 675. So the odds makers agree. I'd be surprised if this fight went the distance. I will say that. Antoine, can we say UFC 275 is an instant classic 100%? It was an amazing card. And 276 could be even better. I mean, that card's epic too. What app do you use to bet on fights? We have DraftKings now. I like DraftKings is good for UFC because they have those options. They have the most betting options for UFC. So if you have it where you live, I do recommend that app. But I mean, there's a lot of other apps. FanDuel is good too. A lot of I don't know if third parties have apps, but like, I used to use a lot of the offshore sports books. I don't have to anymore. So DK would be, and FanDuel. I like those too. But also there's like BetMGM. I know is pretty good. My friend uses that one. I got another friend who uses Bodog. There's a lot of different ones, man. But yeah, those are some options. Chris Curtis winning against the odds means he'll lose in a spot like this eventually. I don't trust Vieira, maybe under 2.5. Yeah, I don't think it goes the distance. I think we both agree on that. But the odds are not very good. Under 2.5 is minus 400, so not good odds. But I mean, maybe you just parlay that or something, just in case. But I am leaning, like I said, Marcel, slightly towards Rodolfo Vieira. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. And according to the odds, Marcel, this is the biggest mismatch on the card. I want to hear your thoughts on this one because right now, Umar Nurmagomedov, guys, is minus 665 and Name is plus 485. But I'm also seeing a minus 1200 spot here on Nurmagomedov. So, I mean, Nate Maness is a pretty good fighter, but wow, I mean, these odds are very high in Nurmagomedov's favor. I mean, there's a reason for it. But I'm also wondering, do people think this is Khabib Nurmagomedov? Because that's really high. Nate Maness is not bad at all. So, what's your thoughts, man? Because these odds seem pretty excessive. I'm not saying they're wrong, but they seem pretty high. What do you think?
They're high, but would you pick Maness in this fight? I wouldn't. You know what I mean? So, if you look at that, Umar has been looking phenomenal so far in the UFC. I think he's great. If you look at Maness, I think he got lucky against Johnny Munoz, dude, in his debut. I think Munoz won that fight, Yeah. And if you look at the Gravely fight last time, he got almost finished in the first round, but he came back and he finished Gravely in the second round. So I kind of understand it, but on the other hand, it's kind of disrespectful at the same time. That said, I think Umar wins the fight, dude. Is he going to finish him? I don't know, probably. I would say a TKO finish for Umar in the second round.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight. I mean, I think Maness is good. I think the odds are a little off. I mean, what are they giving him? Like a 10% chance to win? I don't know if it's that lopsided. I would have Nurmagomedov more of like a 4 to 5 to 1 favorite, not 12 to 1. It's some odds, some worse books. I'm gonna pick the guy, obviously, Marcel. That's all I'm saying, though, guys. I mean, listen, Maness is solid. He has the one loss to Lapalus and TKO. That's it, though. He's 14-1 against 14-0 here. The guy's a solid fighter. He's good, But and the UFC's giving him this fight because they think he's good, But again, Marcel, you're right. Umar, I mean, just dominant on the ground, right? And completely washed his two opponents at the UFC. You have to pick Umar Nurmagomedov here, but I'm just saying, like, we're looking for betting value. I don't necessarily see it at the odds. Maybe you take a prop on him finishing the fight. That's only minus 140. Maybe that's the way to go. I think I'd rather bet on that, to be honest with you. He is rightfully favored. I'm just saying, like, I'm seeing like 12 to 1 out there. It's kind of high, like Maness at Umar not to go the distance. That's what I'm saying too. At minus 140 on what's the fight not going the distance? Let me double check that. This fight not going the distance is minus 190. I think that's a better play. I would rather bet on that. I don't think it goes the distance because I think if Nate wins, Marcel, he's going to be knocking this guy out in surprising fashion, right? I don't think he'd win the decision. And Umar, I think he wouldn't finish him too. So yeah, love the matchup. Can't pick this Umar. Maness is a good upside. I agree. I like that too. I agree, Glenn. I mean, again, Maness is pretty solid, man. He's not a bad fighter at all. Gonna fight some prop. Yeah, I mean, maybe the inside the distance. I know Maness is tough, but he did get dropped by Gravely, right? So, but he ended up winning the fight, obviously. So he's pretty good. Go to the next fight, Marcel. Moises, not Santos. Thiago Moises against Christos Giagos in the UFC lightweight division. I don't think this fight should be in the main card either. I want to be honest with you, Marcel. I think it's not. What are you saying?
It got on there because Albazi against Elliott got.
That's right. That fight fell off. Yeah. Right now we have Thiago Moises is minus 240, Giagos plus 200. What do you think?
Yeah, it's difficult, and actually it's not difficult, because I'm pretty confident in my pick. I think Thiago Moises is not top 15, but he's close to being in the top 15. You know what I mean? Although he lost the last two fights, but he lost against Joel Alvarez and Islam Makhachev, and I don't think there's you can lose those fights. Those are two good opponents. If you look at Christos Giagos, his second run in the UFC. He also lost to Tsarukyan last time out. Before that, 2 wins, a good win against Sean Soriano, although he looked really bad in the first round against Sean Soriano. And the Carlton Maness, that's your favorite fighter. He won that without any doubt. I still think that Moises is a better fighter overall. Maybe you don't agree with me, but I think Moises should win this fight. I don't see a finish here. I think that the ground game kind of cancel each other out, going with decision.
No, I like Moises too, for sure. I mean, he's the right side here. And I think the line is fair and accurate, minus 240. He's definitely a guy you could parlay. I'm not too high in Christos Giagos, Marcel. I don't like this matchup for him either against a guy who's a better grappler. Honestly, Marcel, I think Moises could submit him. I think he could finish him by submission too. Either that or he wins the decision. But I think either way, Moises wins this fight. Looking at the odds right now, Moises by decision is plus 250, Marcel. And inside the distance is plus 120. So the odds makers are actually favoring him to finish this fight, which is kind of the way I see it. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Giagos was tough enough to go the distance, but I'm leaning towards a finish here for Moises. I do like him here, guys. There's been a lot of passes for me. This is a guy I'm definitely circling as a potential parlay piece, Marcel, because I do think he wins the fight, and I like him to win. So I think that's go ahead.
I just see here on Twitter, Addy Wineland. I didn't get an opportunity to leave my gloves in the cage, but as Jim Morrison once sang, this is the end. The road I've traveled over the past almost 20 years has seen many highs and lows, and has been a fun ride this train has reached its final destination. I'm forever grateful and extremely thankful for the opportunities given by the UFC, Dana White and Sean Shelby, everything you guys and the company have done for and given to me. I'm forever grateful. Thank you, and thank you to all the fans who have always stood in my corner. Officially retired, end of the road. Thank you for the memories.
It's a great message. It's just a shame that you didn't get a chance to say it. But again, I think he was really out of it, Marcel. I think that's what they were worried about. But again, you got to give him that chance. And we've seen guys get knocked out and then talk afterwards, was it Overeem and after remember the Stipe fight? He didn't get knocked, right? Remember he goes, I choked him out, or Stipe tapped. Remember that, Marcel?
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Marcel's favorite fight in the card here, guys. Alan Baudot against Josh Parisian. But seriously, what is the UFC's fascination with putting these low-level heavyweight fights on the main card? So I just don't see why. I mean, Alan Baudot is, what's his record? 0-3 in the UFC. The win was Nascimento. Was that no contest? I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't changed that at UFC stats, but I think it was right.
It was 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little strange. And then Parisian is 1-2. Excuse me. I think he lost to Roque Martinez, so he should be 0-3 too. They're fighting for their job here, no doubt about it. The odds right now, Marcel, another fight, pick 'em. Minus 115 for Baudot, minus 105 Parisian, so close to a pick 'em. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, when I get a co-main event next time, probably. I mean, listen, man, Alan Baudot got signed off a disqualification win against Todd Stott, where he got finished. But they overturned it because of pot smoking or something. So
yep.
It's just stupid, And also the funny thing was I saw Fernand Lopez, who is Baudot's manager, and he was surprised that Baudot got another fight. He was like, oh, we got another fight. Okay, cool. So he's fighting Josh Parisian. It's I have no idea why this on the main card. Do the UFC hope that it's a quick knockout or something? I don't know. It's just stupid to bang on that, I think. If you look at Baudot, he at least looked better in his last fight against Parker Porter. I want to say Parker Porter. Porter won, but it was a close fight, If you look at Parisian, yeah, he hasn't impressed me at all. I agree with you. The Roque Martinez fight, he got lucky in that one, I think. I I'm kind of going with Bordeaux here, man. I'm going with the Cyril Gane's training partner. I think he showed me in this last fight that he has some tools to be able to win this fight, and Parisian didn't, in my opinion. So I'm taking Alain Bordeaux, and I think he might finish him, man. Maybe first round TKO knockout. So I'm going with Bordeaux here.
I'm actually with you on this one, Marcel. I'm going to go with Bordeaux too, and I think he can knock him out too. You know, Parisian, I just think has looked really bad in the UFC overall. I mean, Bordeaux hasn't looked great either, but I do think he made some improvements against Parker Porter. You know, it was not a bad loss necessarily. He went the distance, it looked competitive. Parisian's the guy that I think is probably near the end of his UFC career. I know James Lynch, good friend of ours, interviewed him, Marcel. He took another job outside of the sport recently because he's like, I guess he just doesn't feel confident he's going to be in the UFC very much longer. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that kind of worries me. I'm not going to lie, Marcel. Like, why would this guy take a full-time job, like a new job or something like that during his training camp? It's very strange. Very strange. That's a huge red flag for me. That's not the reason I'm picking against him. It's because I think Bordeaux is the better striker, and I think the fight stays on the feet. So I'm going to go with Bordeaux. And Parisian's been knocked out a couple times, Marcel, so that's kind of the way I'm leaning, although I guess a decision wouldn't be a surprise. Again, it's not like I'm running to the window to bet it, but I do lean Bordeaux, and I would cap him a little bit higher of a favor here, like minus 140. So minus 110, minus 115. I mean, it's not a terrible line if you like him. That's all I'll say there. Daniel says a lock. I mean, that scares me, Daniel. Don't use that word in here. What do we do to deserve this fight? I mean, it's just not a good fight at all. You know, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, I guess. And I agree, Glenn. Why didn't they just wait 2 months or whatever until Paris? It's kind of strange. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Now we're getting to the good fights, Marcel. Getting to the good fights now. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov taking on Neil Magny here, Marcel, in the co-main event. It is a fantastic fight in the UFC welterweight division. You know, credit Neil Magny, Marcel. The guy's a fucking warrior. He'll take on anyone, anytime, anywhere. He is an awesome guy, awesome fighter. I don't know if this is a good fight for him, though, and the odds are indicating that, Marcel. Minus 400 for Shavkat, plus 325 for Neil. You agree with the odds here?
Difficult, you know. I think Shavkat should be favorite here if you see what he has done. But Neil fucking Magny, dude, the dude takes the tough fights, you know. I respect it a lot. Last time it took the Max Griffin fight, right? Max Griffin wasn't ranked. Magny was actually top 10 ranked, and he took the fight, split decision win after a very tough first round. But if he starts again, like he starts with Griffin against Shavkat, I think Shavkat finishes him, dude, if that happens, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's I definitely going with Shavkat in this one. I really think this dude has the potential to be a champion one day, you know? But I feel like, listen, if Magny can get it to the second and third round, he can give him some difficulties, you know, because Magny always got gas for 50 minutes. He's good. I still think Shavkat might get a finish, and I kind of think he gets in the first round. So TKO win for Shavkat here.
That's what I'm leaning towards too. I think if he wins, because I just checked, and all 15 of his wins are by stoppage. Like, if it goes a distance, he might lose the fight. You know, Magny's, we know he's going to win the third round. I'll tell you that right now, Marcel. If the fight goes 3, it's going to win the third. First round goes to Shavkat. Second round is going to be the decider. I think Shavkat's going to get it done before that, though. Leaning towards a submission or a knockout? What are you thinking?
Knockout, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking a submission maybe. You know, Neil's been submitted a couple times. Remember when Rafael dos Anjos took him down? I think it might look like that fight. That's what I think it's going to look like. So that's the way I'm thinking. I think that he's going to go to his grappling because on the feet, you know, Shavkat does have a reach disadvantage in this fight by 3 inches. Not a lot, but still, I mean, we know Magny's very tall and long on the feet. So I think Shavkat, the easier path, Marcel, is to take him to the ground. You know, but again, Neil's been knocked out a couple times, so it wouldn't shock me if that happened either. All right, Marcel, let's get to the main event here, my friend. Arman Tsarukyan against Mateusz Gamrot, UFC lightweight division. Fantastic fight. Love this fight. The winner absolutely deserves a top 10 opponent. Right now, we got minus 245 on Arman, plus 205 on Mateusz. We should have mentioned the odds open much closer, minus 140 for Tsarukyan, plus 120 for Gamrot. So the lines shifted considerably in Tsarukyan's favor here, Marcel. So what's your thoughts on that, and who's your pick in the fight?
Yeah, what a fight, right? I love this fight the moment it was made. It's different. It's actually I'm kind of decided who I'm going with, but I think both guys can win this fight, dude. I mean, Tsarukyan has some really good grappling. I think his striking he's doing very well with the striking as well. And Gamrot overall is a very complete fighter as well, So for me, it's kind of like who I think has a higher potential right now coming into the UFC or being in the UFC and getting to that top spot. And I really feel like Tsarukyan is getting better and better every time I see him fight, And for Gamrot is at a point that he is very good. I still think he can give everybody run for his money in the division. But I think he's already the established guy that many people don't see him yet as an established guy, but he is. He was for years in the European scene in KSW, And I still think Tsarukyan has more potential. I'm taking Tsarukyan here, and I'm going with a decision win here, but I think it will be a very tough one, a really good fight, and definitely fight of the night.
We don't talk about these fights at all before we do this podcast, guys. Like I have no idea what Marcel. I mean, sometimes I have a feeling like when it's Cody Stamen versus Eddie Wineland, I have a feeling who he's going to pick. But like a fight like this, I honestly wasn't sure what you were going to pick. I have the exact same read as you. I think it's going to be a very close, competitive fight, but I think eventually it's going to be Tsarukyan getting the decision here, Marcel. They both like Tsarukyan. They're both great. There's no doubt about it. I will say this: like Gamrot's been 5 rounds, in KSW, right? He's been 5. He knows he's a champion there. He knows how to go 5. So I think it's going to be competitive. We saw that Kutatulante fight, Marcel. I think it's going to look like that, but for 5 rounds, basically. I just think Tsarukyan's going to be on top position more. That's what I think is going to be the difference in this fight. He's going to be on top more. He's going to do a little bit more damage from the top. It's going to be close, Marcel. It's going to be a close one on the scorecards. I don't love how the odds are moving so far in the direction of Tsarukyan. I like them much better at minus 140, I got to be honest. Mm-hmm. But even at this price, I think he wins. And I just looked, and it's just something I thought about right now. You could bet on a parlay of Tsarukyan and Moises, Marcel, 2 great grapplers. It's plus 100. Okay. You're getting even money on those 2 guys. I think that's something to consider. I'm just throwing that out there. I do believe they both win their fights. I do think Tsarukyan, it's going to be a close fight, but he's going to get the hand raised at the end of the 25. But it'll be his hardest fight in the UFC. I think he fought Islam, but second hardest fight. Marcel, would you agree with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Gamrot's 5. He has the 5 rounds. I know. It's really good experience to have. Winner gets an unranked guy. That's so funny. Watch the winner get Demiris Magulov, or watch Kutatulante get the loser of this one or something like that. I mean, they just give him those guys get just, man. I mean, Kutazulante's matchmaking has been hard. All right. I think that's it for this for this preview, I should say. There's a few other things I want to talk about before we get out of here. We'll get this call from Glenn. Tickets for Payers go on sale this week. Any rumors? Well, we should have mentioned Jessica Andrade is fighting Manon Fiorot now. That's official, right? That fight?
Yeah, it's official.
What happened there? So they put it on UFC stats before anyone knew? Is that what happened?
No, they actually announced it officially on UFC Europe and on UFC just a normal account.
Okay.
Then I put it on UFC stats, and then Chookagian told Ariel Helwani that she never agreed to the fight and that she only takes a fight on November or December.
Do you remember Joe, the guy in the chat, said it to us like a month ago? He said, "Hey, I found out where this fight, or not a month ago, but a couple weeks ago. Remember, Marcel? We were like, "Where's this from?" You were right, Joe. I don't know if you're still in the chat right now, boss, but you're right. Tabura and Romanov that works for July. Thoughts? I mean, this guy's broken a lot of fights, Marcel. So I mean, I trust this. I wanted to see Romanov taking on Volkov personally. I think that would have been good, but I mean, I think he smashes Tabura. I don't think Tabura's that good. All right, let's go with a couple other things I want to talk, Marcel. Let's get this comment too. Sean Brady hinted UFC something in the works for in response to Holland call out. Any idea? I don't know. I mean, do you have any idea?
No, I really don't know.
All right, let's go through the PFL preview quickly. Marcel, is that okay with you?
I expected you to go to Bellator, but okay, yeah.
PFL. Oh, you want to do Bellator first? Let's do PFL first. I had it in my list. I have them both. I have them both in the list. Don't worry, we're going to do them both. 5 minutes, quick picks here, guys. We're not going to do crazy breakdowns.
Can I put it on screen?
Yeah, I can do that. No problem. 1 sec. Put this on screen because let's be honest, like we don't know this card as well. Although I did the odds for it because the odds are out. All right, so let's go to this card here, Marcel. PFL 5. Let's start with the. I guess we'll go down this way. All right, let's pull up this PFL odds here, guys. Let's see here. Where is it? I saw them. Where were they now? 1 sec. I know they were here. Are they gone? Oh, okay, here they are. I found them. All right. First fight, Alejandro Flores against Ryoji Kudo, minus 175 Flores, Kudo plus 155. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I would probably go with Flores, but I'm not really too familiar with both these
Cleo's the
guys.
guy that almost beat Brendan Lofton. I mean, that was a really close
yeah,
fight.
I remember that, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't bet on this. I would say don't bet on this fight, but I think it's dog or pass based on what I saw with that guy. But I don't know. So it's not a fight we both have a confidently, and I apologize, guys, but we really don't. I mean, does anyone have a confident in this one? I don't think you can. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Brandon Lofton, the guy's mentioned sponsor Salmon. Lofton is a big favorite, minus 290, Salmon plus 245. Brandon Lofton wins this fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next fight, Marcel, it's Lance Palmer, Shaman Moraes. Palmer, minus 160, Moraes plus 140. I mean, listen, Palmer's looked garbage lately. I think Moraes can win this fight, Marcel. I think he can win. Plus 140, I would lean towards the dog. What do you think?
I'm going a dry hump decision for Lance Palmer.
He just hasn't been doing it lately. I just think he's on decline, but maybe. I mean,
but he can do it against Moraes, I think.
Maybe, but I think Moraes looked really good in his last fight. I will say that. But you're right. I mean, there's a reason he's favored. Bubba Jenkins against Sabah Balagi. I mean, I don't.
Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba, minus 330. You should win this fight. Balagi plus 270. Next fight here, Ali Asayev against Jamel Jones. I mean, this is another mismatch, Marcel. Asayev minus 460, Jones plus 365. Asayev by a first round stoppage. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Next fight here, Denis Goltsov against Sam Key. Another huge mismatch. Goltsov minus 650, Key plus 475. Goltsov by stoppage, first round. What do you think?
Yeah, same, man. You're like, this fight, a huge mismatch. This, the huge mismatch.
I know.
But I agree with you. Yeah, Goltsov should win. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one, we got Delia against Stuart Austin. Another fucking huge mismatch. I mean, what is going on here? What's going on here? Delia minus 500, Austin plus 400. I mean, obviously Delia is going to knock him out in the first round. What do you think?
Yeah, of course he will. Yeah.
Next fight here, Renan Frey against Clinton Brady. Finally, a decent fight. But Freya's minus 400, Brady plus 325. I mean, Freya's going to win, I think, but Brady's not bad. I'll say that. Your pick?
Yeah, I like Renan Ferreira on this one. And I agree with you. Clitson Abreu is definitely not a bad fighter, but I would go with Ferreira here.
Yeah. Chris Wade against Kyle Bochniak. Wade minus 370, Bochniak plus 310. Your pick?
Yeah, that's stylistically a bad matchup for Bochniak.
It is. Dude, this is a card. This is a chalk card, guys. I mean,
listen.
Go ahead.
People are going to brag like, oh, I was 10-1 or 11-0 on this card. It's like, yeah, okay.
Next fight we have what is it?
Pettis against Ray.
Yeah, Anthony Pettis against Stevie Ray. This is kind of fucked that Anthony Pettis is getting special treatment. He's getting to fight a week later than everyone else in the tournament. It's not fair. It's not right. Pettis is a big favorite, obviously, guys. Minus 2. Or he's not that big. Minus 210. Ray plus 175. I like Pettis in the fight, though. You?
Yeah, same. But you never know with Stevie Ray. He has done weirder things. So, but I'm going with Pettis as well.
Next up, the last fight, the main event: Bruno Capelloza against Matthias Scheffel. Capelloza minus 470, Scheffel plus 375. Capelloza by first round knockout.
They pretty much matched every heavyweight they want to see the semifinal.
This is a joke. Like this is not a real. They keep calling it a real sport. I'm fine with it because we're going to see some fun fights. But Marcel, you can't call it a real sport when you're giving obvious matchmaking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. By the way, Yuri Prochazka has a win over Vadim Nemkov and Bruno Capelloza. He is the unified MMA light heavyweight champion. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah. Did you saw the tweet from Bellator last week after the UFC event?
What
they
happened?
Were like, Corey Anderson and Vadim Nemkov are going to fight soon. Who is the best light heavyweight in the world? On the planet, they said.
Corey looked good in that last fight. I'll give him that. He looked good. He should have won that fight before the was it like a headbutt? I think it was. It was a headbutt. All right, let me pull up Bellator here, guys. Bellator 282, Marcel. We'll go through this one. Some of these early fights. Actually, this card's pretty good. I'm going to give it this one. I'll give Bellator some props on this one, Marcel. I think it's actually not a bad card because they don't do cards that often anymore. It's like once a month now for the most part. Like they can stack them up a little bit. So let's go through this card, Marcel. We get the odds for this one. I think we have odds. Perfect. We have odds. Okay, so let's go through this quickly. Bryce Logan against Mandel Nalo. Nalo minus 220, Logan plus 180. I like Nalo in this fight.
No, I'm thinking Red Garbage as well. Yeah.
Red Garbage. I know, right? The Canadian. Yeah. Next up, Aaron Jeffrey against Fabio Aguilar. I mean, I like Aaron Jeffrey, man. Minus 170. Aguilar is plus 150. Give me Aaron Jeffrey here. Marcel, I kind of think he should be in the UFC. He's a win over Petrosky's in the UFC. He's a good fighter. I know he didn't perform against Baralo, but and was it Brendan Allen? I think he lost to, but I think Jeffrey's pretty good, right? What do you think?
Yeah, it just sucks for Jeffrey that he lost the 2 Contender Series fights, because I
know.
think he has quality. Yeah, I'm going with Jeffrey as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, he's solid for sure. I mean, he's definitely a decent fighter. And he's Canadian, obviously. Lucas Brennan against Johnny Soto. Lucas Brennan, another guy that Bellator keeps giving like easy matchups to. Marcel minus 440 and plus 350 on the comeback. Brennan wins this fight, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Next fight here, Dan Moret against Achilles Mota. This is another competitive fight, I would say. Moret minus 160, Mota plus 140. What do you think of this one?
I think it's a good matchup, man. Isn't it weird that Dan Moret wanted to go to Yamauchi and he didn't got above him in the rankings?
I know. Well, I mean, it's a close fight. A lot of people thought he lost, but I agree completely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm thinking Dan Moret, close decision, but kind of a 50-50 on this.
I think this one could go either way. I mean, I guess I would lean towards Moret because honestly, Achilles Mota hasn't looked that good in Bellator, but I think Mota is he can look good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he won this fight. I would stay away from this one. Another guy that I think the matchmaking is a complete joke, Cody Law. Once again, Marcel, absolutely massive favorite. Cody Law minus 600 against James Gonzalez. Here's the problem with this. I get it. They're trying to build a guy, but you're not really helping the guy out, but you're just giving him minus. Because I want to show you guys something right here with Cody Law. I mean, this is, to me, Marcel, is ridiculous. I'm going to show this right now. I'll pull up on the screen. Look at his odds. Look at this. Look at the odds. Minus 770, minus 7,000, minus 5,000, minus 1,800, minus 1,000, minus. This is a joke. Give him someone decent for once. Come on, Marcel. Again, what's the goal here? Just to get guys wins on his resume? Isn't it to give the guy some adversity and fight someone decent?
Mm-hmm.
He obviously wins, right?
Yeah, but James Gonzalez is the Sarah Longo dude who broke Pat Sabatini's arm, remember, in the CFFC. So watch out, but he should. Law, it's definitely again a fight made to make Law look good, A
couple other fights here. Alejandro Lara against Ilera Joanne. Lara is the favorite here right now. Minus 210, Joanne plus 175. I'll go with Lara. I know you are too. Yep. Sabah Homasi against Micah and Mendoza. Homasi favored here. Minus 155, Mendoza plus 135. I think the favorite wins here too, Homasi, but he's not really a guy trusting with my money because he can be knocked out. But I like Homasi here. Your pick?
Me too, but I would also never put money on him.
Can't do it with that chin. Anatoly Tokov against Mohamed Abdullah. Yeah, you like this one. This is a good fight. Tokov right now, where's the odds? Minus 600, Abdullah plus 450. I think Tokov wins too, but the odds could be a little closer. What do you think?
Tokov should fight somebody in the top 5 and not some random guy who just came into Bellator. So, yeah.
Yeah. Kat Zingano against Pam Sorensen. Zingano, I mean, minus 265, Sorensen plus 225. Kat Zingano doesn't make sense to me. I mean, what was the point of bringing her to Bellator? She's not going to fight for the belt ever? Is she ever going to fight for the title? I don't get it. How much time does she need? She's 40 years old. Don't get it, Marcel. I think she wins this fight, though. Pam Sorensen's not very good. What do you think?
I agree.
Brent Primus against Alexander Shabili. Shabili is slightly favored here. It's not much, though, if I'm not mistaken. Where are the odds for this one? Minus 185. It's Primus plus 160. I would take a shot. Look at Brent Primus, Marcel. I think he's very underrated, man. Former champion. As the underdog, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shabili's decent, but I would look at Brent Primus. I'm assuming you're picking Shabili, though.
Yeah, I think Chablis can be the champion then. So,
wow, that's interesting. I mean, Brent Primus was a champion, though. He's underrated. He's very underrated.
But I feel like Bellator doesn't do.
They don't like him. They don't like him, right?
No, but they don't do good in promotion, man. And Chablis against Brent Primus. Why is this on the prelim, man? Put it on the main card.
Brandon Ward against Cassius Kane. Ward is a huge favorite, minus 600. Or sorry, minus 270. Kane plus 230. Brandon Ward should win this fight as long as he's sobered up, because I know he had some. He had some substance abuse issues. No one had some good article.
That fight should be changed with the Chablis against Primus fight, but I know they love Brandon Ward, so
yeah. Magomedov against Enrique Barzola. 5-round fight here in the tournament, guys. Odds right now: Magomedov minus 165, Barzola plus 145. I got to go with Magomedov, though, Marcel. I have to. Yeah.
Me too.
And then we have Danny Sabatello, the shit talker, against Leandro Higo. Sabatello shocked the world. He is minus 525. Higo plus 450. Plus 415. I like Danny Sabatello here, Marcel. I like him a lot. I mean, the odds are huge, though, but he should win. You like him?
50-42. Yeah.
Yeah. You think he's just going to be 10-8 rounds, eh? It could be. It could be. And the main event here, 5 rounds as well. Gegard and Mousasi against Johnny Eblen. Right now, Mousasi minus 270, Eblen plus 230. How do you not take Mousasi? I mean, I know Eblen's undefeated. I know he's a good prospect, but Gegard Mousasi. I like Mousasi and Marcel.
If Mousasi is focused and he wants to win, he wins the fights.
If he's motivated, do his motivated face, Marcel. Let's see Let's see the face.
Sorry?
Do his motivated face. His sleepy face. You never see that meme where it's like,
yeah,
yeah, you know the one I'm talking about?
If he's motivated, maybe you think I'm crazy, but if he's motivated, he can beat Adesanya, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I actually agree. I completely agree. I mean, he's a great striker. He's a good fighter. He's experienced. He's great. But we'll never see that fight because he went to Bellator to get more money, which I don't blame him at all to do that as well. So, all right, that's it for that preview. Let's just get a couple questions. Get out of here. It's 12 o'clock, so I want to get out of here. I want to eat some lunch. Amy's not celebrating. You talked about what's up, Michael. We don't know yet, but apparently the fight booked. Bryce Mitchell, I don't know either. I mean, I'm not sure. And Korean Zombie makes sense for me. We should Taburia fight next. He's supposed to fight Barboza, but we don't know yet. If that's going to happen. Andrew, James Gonzalez, I kind of agree. I mean, he has that one over 17, but again, 8-5 against the guys undefeated who Bellator loves. I'm just saying, the odds are ridiculous, so there's a reason that I think for that. All right, guys, I appreciate everyone joining us, man. It was fun, Marcel. 2 back-to-back podcasts. 2 hours of talking, not easy, but we got done. All right, Marcel, plug yourself. Let's get out of here, my friend.
Yeah, it's still Big Marcel 24 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my articles. If you can read Dutch, you can read them on Eurosport.nl Mixed Martial Arts section.
Follow me on Twitter at Adam Martin, guys. Podcast, MMAOddsbreaker.com. It's on our iTunes, Spotify. It's on YouTube, of course. We appreciate when everyone's in the live chat, but you guys can catch the replay, of course. It's always fun to do that. As well, you guys can follow my work at bookies.com. Got my best bets coming back this week, and MiamiNews.com for some news. So I'm looking forward to that, Marcel. I'm glad to be back, Marcel. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm excited to see how this card plays out, guys. Again, no podcast Monday, Tuesday. We're going to start doing the Sunday show, so we're excited about that for the change. We're going to try out for the summer, see how it goes. And Michael said he's new here, and he said great job, and he's new. Hey, man, appreciate it. Join us every Sunday, man. You're welcome to come here. Anyone's welcome, We love it. We love the back and forth. And we'll get this last question, Antoine, the last one, because I like you. How does Strickland Pereira go? You got to watch the next podcast. That's the answer.
I give you already a sneak peek. This is going to be a fun one, but because you're going to think Adam's going to choose a certain person, but he's not, and people are going to think I'm going to choose a certain person, which I'm not going to choose. So
I think that's what's going to happen too. I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see what's going on. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Talk to you guys soon. Peace, and I'll see you guys next Sunday, 10 a.m. for the